Hey YouTube, here we got a 2000 Volkswagen Jetta TDI, doing a swap on it into an older Toyota. So here it is. So before I get this motor out, I'm going to go through, label all of the harness connectors so I know what is what I need, what I don't need, what I can cut when I get the harness out. So once you get the harness out, it's a big rat's nest of wires and plugs that you don't know what goes where. So I'm going to go through and label all this. Then this whole front core support's going to come off. Tranny motor will be pulled, harness will be pulled, and start cutting the harness down, eliminate everything we don't need for the Toyota. Basically it's going to be a standalone harness for the Volkswagen, so basically only running a few sensors on the motor itself, the ECU, and that's really about it for electronics for the Volkswagen. So I'll pick this back up when I get all these plugs labeled and this core support off, radiator out, and we'll get working on getting the motor pulled. So we got the whole front end off. All the wiring's off for the most part. ECU's right here. So we still got to come through here. This wiring harness runs down. It tees off here to go down to like the hood latch, the coolant reservoir, the washer fluid reservoir. So that I labeled it anyway, but that's all going to get cut. So we just got to pull all that back out. This whole harness here is 90% of the way out. It runs into the inside of the car, so we got to go in the inside and snip some wires in there. So you want to keep all this, keep the fuse block with all the power wire on it. This is the fan module. I'm not sure if I'm going to use that. I might just wire in my own fan system. There's the other ECU plug. So just go through, label everything. That one I didn't know what it was, so I just kind of put where it went. I'll have to trace those wires, but yeah, wire everything, or mark everything so you know what it was. I'll show you the inside of the car. I already have the dash all the way out. So I just got to come under here, rip all this crap out of here, get access to that harness, and figure out what we're going to cut. The majority of it we don't need. We do need the gas pedal, so we're going to pull that. Probably the brake and the clutch switch. Leave some wire hanging off of that too so we can splice into it. But other than that, there's not much in the interior we need. So this is the majority of the harness. So yeah, that'll get cut down. A lot of that is going to be removed. There's some more, another fuse block here with some relays and whatnot in it. So yeah, now it's on to getting the tranny motor pulled out, which we're pretty close. Just motor mounts, CV axles, lower intercooler pipe, all these N75, all the solenoids on the back there. We gotta pull off. So yeah, let's get that motor pulled out. Alright guys, I decided to pull the tranny off of the motor to check out what was going on with the clutch. The clutch wasn't working. That might be a problem. There's the throwout bearing. So yeah, there's a bunch of busted teeth. The other half are bent. That could be a problem. Pull the clutch off. There's the flywheel. There's some of the clutch. Here's the rest of the clutch. Could just weld it together. Should be alright. yeah, that's a nice clutch. Alright, here's the harness that we got left in the car. It's all connected to the fuse box and the interior harness. These are the two harnesses from the ECU. So I'll show you inside what I did here. We got a mess of wire. Alright. So this harness here goes to the rear of the car. Do not need that. This originally ran up. This ran up here. This part that I cut here is this harness going to all the HVAC on the right hand side of the car. When you cut this plug, be careful because you need these wires here. This is for the throttle, and then there's another wire here for the brake sensor, so you need all that. And other than that, disconnect everything from the ignition. I'm not sure if you need the clutch sensors. And then here's the fuses, or the relays. There's a relay block there, a relay block here. These colored plugs were plugged in going up into the other harness that connects to the ECU. So just pull those out of the box up there. And this is where the main harness comes into the engine bay, or into the cabin from the engine bay. So it kind of had to, this is bolted on in a couple places. Take those bolts off, pull this grommet out, and I am hoping we can fit the harness through that hole right there. If not, we might have to do a little cutting on the firewall to get the whole harness through without taking it all apart. So yeah, that is the harness. Once I get the rest of this harness out, I'll show you guys what it looks like on the ground. And then we can start cutting out what we don't need. A lot of this we're not going to use, obviously. This is all for interior stuff, but there are some items that we do need to reuse. So it's best to just pull it all out and do it all on the ground. So yeah, I'll update you guys here in a bit. Here's a few other things you're going to need as well. I took both power steering lines, the reservoir, just any cables, like that's the negative ground cable for the battery. Take that. Battery box, I'm not sure if I'll need it. Save it anyway. Air box, it's got the MAF sensor in it. I'll probably end up building a different air box or intake setup, but you need that MAF if you're going to run it. You can delete it if you want, but I'm going to run it. Intercooler, I'm not going to use the intercooler, but there's the MAP sensor right there. You're going to want to take all your intercooler piping. There's still some on the motor. This piece here you're going to need, well, you might not need it, but save it just in case you do. There's that lower intercooler pipe. And then I saved the down pipe just in case I need that flange to build my exhaust. Over here I saved the fuel filter with the bracket. Those are for my car. You need the throttle pedal, you need all the vacuum lines and all the solenoids on it. That's ASV, that's EGR, that's for the turbo. Save this main fuse box. This is located on top of the battery. This is all your main power source for all your relays and to power the ECU. So I'm not sure, I probably won't run it, but just in case, save that. Coolant bottle, just in case you need it. 100% need the ECU. That's just timing cover. Now this is a fan control box. Probably end up using my own setup, but just anything you think you might need. save. Not sure what I'm doing with the radiator. This one actually might work because it has both the outlets on the right side. It's got the fans on it that you could probably tap into and run your own switch, or you just run a sensor into it and to a relay, so at a certain temperature the fans kick on. But I'll save it just in case I need it. Other than that, that's really about it.